But when we watch the life of Peter, we're able to see the commitment grow into believing. He is one of the inner circle that was allowed to see the transfiguration. When Jesus went to the mountaintop and brought Elijah and Moses came and talked with him, and his body changed vibratory frequency, Peter was allowed to be there to experience that. Peter watched him privately bring several people back from the dead. Peter was given the teachings right before, in the Garden of Gethsemane, before the death, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Because Peter believed, he was able to open the door into the higher realm. And that is faith at its pinnacle. Believing and believing enough in what you are following to allow it to teach you. Do you know what I'm saying? Believing enough in what you are following to allow it to begin to teach you. And those are the three aspects of faith. Trusting, commitment, and believing. We walk through all three in our spiritual evolution. And I know you all can remember, and you may even know, well, sometimes I slide back, or sometimes I can't get past that commitment part, or whatever, but we have to in order to grow our faith. Because faith is the key that takes us to knowing, and knowing is what accesses the divine. Knowing without knowing. He said to many of them, you're very, very blessed that you got to see me and believe, but multiplied blessed are those who believe and don't see. Those who will come after you who will never see me, but they believe. They're going to really be blessed because they're moving into that faith that doesn't seek the worldly validation. So, as we walk in faith, though, as we're trusting, as we're committing, as we're believing, whose words are we following? Whose words are we following? During this process, we have to learn to trust the words of the Spirit. And that's the growth of the ability to hear God. In the beginning, we follow our teachers, don't we? How often has your teacher said, yeah, would you just try it? Would you just do your homework? Some of my clients say, homework? It's like, yeah, I don't give you homework to make me happy. I don't take great pleasure in assigning homework. That's not my job. I give you homework so you can unhook and learn and grow and change and try something new and different that you haven't thought of before. The first voice that we follow and we trust might be a voice of authority. But in our belief system, we are seeking to know God consciousness. So our voice in metaphysical Christianity of authority always takes you back to the voice in your own heart. Go within, go within, go within. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Go within and see what you see. Just go within. Go within yourself. Go within your heart. We harp on meditation, yes? We center in the morning. We center in when we're done. We center in all the time. When you first start this journey of listening, do you know what voice you hear? Your own. It's a miracle. You hear your own voice. But what you hear is all the desires that you have denied yourself. You hear all the things within you that you want to express but you can't. Do you know? When we first start, we're just like little children, and we have these memories of things that we wanted, and then we give ourselves permission to go do it. Yes? We remember desires that we've said we couldn't have. And it's fun, isn't it? We're meditating and we're getting guidance, and it's all about improving us. And it's fun. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you first start to meditate, memories come to the surface. I remember, some of you might remember back in the old days, when you're a little girl, you have these plastic shoes that are all dressed up and pretty and sparkly. And you want them, they're just the best. And if you didn't get them, that's just sad. That's real sad. And you live your whole life with a pocket of the memory of, I didn't get those shoes. Do you know? So when that memory comes up when you're 30, what do? You find some shoes that look just like it. And you buy them and you wear them and they're fabulous. And you feel freed. And you really are freed because you've taken a pocket of your energy that's been dormant. And you've opened it up and you've allowed it to express. That's our first level of learning to listen. We listen to all these pocketed energies. And it's fun. And as we free them, it gives us hope. It gives us hope that we can do what we didn't believe we could do. And it's wonderful. It's great. It's childlike. And then we hit the next layer of listening. And that's when we begin to hear the voices of everyone else. This is when we hit the voices of our fathers and our mothers and our authorities and our churches. Do you know people still deal with the voice of a church doctrine that they have not heard since they were 6 years old? But it's still in the subconscious mind. We call this level the layer of dealing with your blocks, the walls that have created your belief. This is the layer that takes you to therapy. It's the layer of really understanding, what do I believe? Am I going to keep listening to the voices within me that limit or create this world that makes me uncomfortable? Or do I want to unhook that energy as well? And when you unhook that energy, it feels fabulous. You're free again. It's freeing. But when you unhook that layer, it's not about desires, it's about how I live my life. So this big level of responsibility comes in. If I'm not going to do it the way my parents told me to do it anymore, how am I going to do it? Oh, do you see? And we begin to listen. Because we don't know how to do it, do we? We've believed everything everyone told us, and now we have to find a new way. And that takes us to the next layer. When we come to the point where we have listened to all the voices within, we have undone all the energies, or layers of them, and we don't know what to do next. Now we're ready to hear the voice of God. And what the first thing you realize is the voice of God is the voice that's been guiding you through all of these experiences to begin with. The voice that said, go buy the shoes. The voice that said, look at this issue with your dad. The voice that said, here, you need to go into counseling. All that has always been this beautiful voice of spirit seeking to guide you. And then everything opens up. This is when the guidance we get is beyond what this world can validate for us. And do you know what I'm talking about? When you have no answer in your mind. No answer in your mind, yet you can shut your eyes, turn your heart to God consciousness and say, God, I'm open to be taught. And you may get an answer instantly, or you may have to get up and walk away, and the next day, everything is resolved. Or you get the download while you sleep. Or you get this divine idea. Or the right and perfect person comes with the right and perfect idea. This is when you're being taught by God. When you let go how the world does it. And you replace that with how I tell you to do it. How I tell you to do it? Is that what you replace it with? No! You replace it with that light that flows through you. That voice of God. Faith and the ability to hear God. Faith in the ability to hear God. We get these wonderful guidances, but because the outer world does not validate, we question. Faith in the ability to hear God. The cornerstone upon which the Church of the Christ is built. The Church of the Christ, the awakening of the divinity within each person. Faith and the ability to hear God. You know, it's been my experience since I've been playing with this, and I use the word playing because I'm not a pro. I'm still playing. But in the last 20 or so years, I've never found God tell people different stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? If I ask a question about something, I might get my piece of the puzzle. But it's never, if I ask and Patrick asks, we get complementary answers, not answers like this about something. The message is the same coming from the mind of God.